Tapping in.
Are we live?
Back for the third time.
You know it. You know it. You know it. Hey man, we got TV. We got TV to review. We got movies to review. We got things that we enjoy to review. So excited.
Yeah. Nah, man, this was fire. I'm gonna come right out and say it. This was fire. I was anticipating this movie. I saw the trailer probably 6 months ago, and I didn't want to see anything else. I didn't want to read nothing about it. I didn't want to hear no synopsis. I just saw Idris Elba coming out of a box on a train with Regina King and Lakeith Stanfield. And I was like, I'm good.
Yep. That alone would do it. But that first thing that they had, the preview was so dope, man. That was super dope. Harder They Fall. And I think, Miles, we are entering into a time of Black cinema where a lot of the types of movies Black culture has enjoyed are movies that are now being made by Black directors and a Black cast, and reinforcing, because Black culture has, funny enough, always had a very close relationship with Western movies. Right now, we're talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. We're talking about old Clint Eastwood movies, right? And we've seen how that translates between Western movies and Kung Fu. Black people love Western movies and Kung Fu, bro. They can't get enough of those two things.
Big facts, man. And this had elements of both, man. This is definitely a Western. This is a beautifully shot, like true to a lot of the tropes without being boring. But it also had a lot of, to your point, man, it referenced so many different aspects of Black culture, Black cinema beforehand. It was just purely entertaining, man. Not everything that's a Black movie with a Black cast has to be some deep, earth-shattering revelation about like race and racism. And sometimes it's dope just for us to be able to tell our own stories without even having some big white, antagonist chasing everybody around, right? I dug this.
They got close with it though, with that singing part. They had like a humming moment. I was like, God, they got the humming in there. I was hoping they would do it.
Let my boy Jonathan Majors hum, man. That was the moment where I was like, oh yeah, he flexing. When he stared into the camera on that humming stuff, man, on that song, that was it. Matter of fact, before we go any further, spoiler alert, because I don't know how many things we're gonna give away in this review. But if you haven't seen it, you might wanna chill, go check it out. It's on Netflix, so give this joint a look. But yeah, getting back into it, man. What did you think of what is this? Where does this sit in your westerns? Your list of westerns. Where does this rank?
I'm a Western fan, and I think what I particularly enjoyed about this from the directors, the Bullets, is that it was actually Jason Matthews, I believe is his name.
It's James something.
James Samuels.
There you go.
James Samuels, sorry. What I enjoyed really about this, bro, is that he borrowed a lot of elements from my favorite one of my favorite movies, which is Django, right? So in Django and how Quentin Tarantino shoots his films, the gore is over the top. The gun scenes are over the top, and there is a focus of cool when it comes to how people get killed and like the scenes, that type of stuff is cool. Kind of brings me back to Once Upon a Time in Mexico, into Desperado, like some of those old spaghetti Western films. By the way, Desperado, which was executive produced by Quentin Tarantino as well, with Antonio Banderas. If you haven't seen it, it's incredible. With Salma Hayek. But
yeah, what else?
Yeah, man. Those scenes of cool. There's an element of cool that is appreciated in this, from how it's shot, set design, clothing, music. The music, Miles.
Yeah, it's very stylized, every aspect of it, right? The audio, the cinematography, the costume design, the set design, everything is immaculate. Everything has such this level of care and detail. And this story that's it's not too convoluted. It's beautiful. It's beautifully simple. I'll say that. It's, even though it's a little messed up, and maybe a little predictable at times. But there was something simple in the fact that it didn't seem like they were trying too hard, right? To just create something really that's an homage to a genre, but also unique. I like what you said about Tarantino as well, right? That especially the blood being super stylized. Interestingly, the one thing that Tarantino got a lot of backlash for in Django was having every character have a quota of saying nigga at least 7 times, right? White or black. And so a lot of people were like, why is this white man putting so many niggas verbally in this movie? And is that just because during that time is the time where that was a common epithet for black people? Do we have to include that in our movie, especially one like Django, where it's on one hand championing this black hero, right? But also on the other time, the rest of the whole movie, we're hearing this word slung around, right? In this movie, the only time we're about to hear the word nigga is when the white train conductor runs up on Regina King and he doesn't even get the word out. Bah! She takes him out, right? And I think that's a little bit of a shot, no pun intended, at Tarantino and his use and choices in that film.
Good pickup. I would say in those Tarantino films, the effect that is being reached for is excessive gore. It's excessive. Everything about it is excessive. Even in the scenes of Django whipping the slave master on the pole, right? It's extremely excessive, and how they focus in on the lashes and they have such very poignant shots to accentuate the excessive nature of it. So if you take even the crime, right? In Django, you had 2 Mandingo fighters fighting each other to the death on the floor. One of the most cold scenes, and Leonardo DiCaprio watching, smoking a cigarette casually. That's far more explicit than anything we see in this movie, right? So I think in that setting and in that movie and in what Django was trying to achieve, all of those epithets, they fit that movie. Whereas in this one, I think the attention towards the styling, the placing, and the pace of the movie took precedence, where that's not necessarily a major fixation of the movie. The reach for this movie wasn't gore. The reach for the movie was, how dope can we make a black Western movie, keeping within the confines of what is considered a Western movie? And I think they executed it well.
I think so too. And I think it was probably a very conscious choice not to say nigga a whole bunch of times, right? And yeah, to your point, it does make Tarantino's Django much more extreme. It does make it violent, even verbally, for the person watching it. And I think the point that maybe if I'm maybe correct about that little shot that they're taking, that the point is just like, yeah, we get why you did it, but why are you so comfortable creating such extreme horror with black bodies and black people, right? So I think that's it. But not to focus too much on Django, man. This was unique in its own right. I loved my man Nat Love, bro. Jonathan Majors as Nat Love bodied it. I thought that he, like, as a hero, man, he's stepping into somebody who excites me to see headlining movies. You know what I mean? So I look forward to his work in the future. I want to hear some more of your thoughts, but the last thing I'll throw in there is the train that they rob in the beginning of the movie. The C.A. Bozeman is a shout out to Chadwick Boseman. You know what I mean? So rest in peace to Chadwick. This movie is laced with them references. You know what I'm saying? So that just made it a dope experience to me. What'd you think of Zazie?
Oh, come on, man. There's a scene where Zazie Beetz is upset at Jonathan Majors' character for having to leave, and the disappointment that she has on her face, talking to this man that she loves that is about to embark on another untold journey, um, is something I relate to a lot, man. That really did hit home. But obviously, Zazie Beetz is always fantastic. I thought Idris Elba did a great job. Lakeith Stanfield is so solid. Regina King, bro. Regina King. It was in with this accent that she lays on. I heard more so of the Riley Freeman, of the Huey Freeman in it more than anything else. Just the cadence in which she came out with. Obviously, she did both of those characters on the Boondocks, Riley and Huey Freeman. But I think her portrayal, man. What I do love is the ability to still keep elegance in a character despite them being despicable, right? One of the cool things about this movie, I think, is that they were able to layer some of the layer the characters where you almost didn't know which character you didn't want to see die and which character you were okay to see die. And that's all kudos to good writing. Even with that Idris Elba scene when he first gets into the city, you're like, okay, he's a bad guy, but he wants good for this town. And you kind of are a little bit torn for a second about whether this is a good dude or a bad dude. And I think that just speaks to the writing. But again, the set design I thought was cool. The comedic relief was very relevant. Like the comedic pacing of it was not that of a Western comedic relief. It was very modern in its pacing, which is super, super dope. I really enjoyed it, man. I really, really enjoyed it. My favorite scene was the blue lady dancing in the club, in the saloon.
I'll be completely transparent. And when I was watching this with my shorty, I saw that scene start, and I was like, "How they get Lil Nas X in this? This is crazy. This is crazy." No, I thought that was my homie Lil Nas X, man. He bodied that role, killed that. But speaking of characters that like we didn't want to see die, right? I was so heated that my man Beckworth didn't get to get his shot off, bro, with the Cherokee on the gun, had his name on the bullet. I was so heated, man. But
he was so cool with the tools.
No, bruh. He was, yeah, man. It was but this movie did a great job of making you feel the characters. They were all charismatic in their own way. Especially my boy who does not get enough love, Delroy Lindo as the Marshal Bass Reeves, bro. That man went in. When his little scene when he walks through the town shooting, bro, it makes you remember what he said earlier. He said, "You know what I do." That man went off. That man went crazy. Delroy Lindo, I need to see him in more roles. Jumping back real quick to Stagecoach Mary, though, Zazie Beetz, not to always throw a little conspiracy and racism in it, but my homegirl Stagecoach Mary was a lot bigger and a lot darker.
Damn, I would have thought so.
Than my homegirl Zazie Beetz to a very noticeable, significant extent.
How bad is it? How bad is it? I'll share it with the people. Stagecoach. Okay, I'll find it.
It's not. Yeah, she doesn't look like her at all, right? And it's just one of those things where I love this movie. I love the representation for Black folks, but let's be thorough with the representation. I love this opportunity for Zazie. I'm not putting no blame on her at all for taking the role, but I would like to see more representation for all shapes and sizes of females, right? We could have got a sister that looks like that to play the role. I'm sure there's a talented sister that could have went out there and bodied that role as much as Zazie did. But shout out to Zazie and what she did with this character. Shout out to the creative team behind it that made a great movie. But that just because it's Black and it's good doesn't mean we can't critique it and point out, the areas where we still need to improve.
Man, y'all want Viola Davis to do every movie. Y'all guys gotta calm down.
I do. She's great.
Y'all want Viola Davis to do everything, man. Everybody gotta calm down.
I want Ma Rainey's Part 2. I'm still waiting on that.
Yeah, Zazie looks nothing like this. But like, how do we feel about this being the case when it comes to Black people being depicted in movies? We tend to see a lot more lighter features take up the roles of especially dark-skinned women outside of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. But like usually this would be the instance.
Exactly. And so I think we just have to be real with ourselves, man. We can't act like we don't do that. We can't act like colorism isn't a thing. We can't act like people that are light skinned don't get more opportunities and more looks, right? Like from just a yeah, from an opportunity perspective. So yeah, man, it's definitely about like just calling it out. You know what I'm saying? And being clear, anybody like not saying that our platform is huge, but just being thorough and saying like, no, if you're asking me, what I'm standing on is I would like to see that representation, right? I would like for not just skinny light skinned girls to feel pretty and to feel badass when they go to the movies, but for everybody to have a character that they can hold on to, right? And we could still throw Zazie Beats in as an extra. Make her another blue lady. Her and Lil Nas X could have did a little duet dance. I would have liked that. I would have been here for that.
Look at Miles trying to get Zazie BC. That's seductively. Calm down, sir. We run a family show.
I would like to hear from the fans on whether or not I should continue trying to get Zazie Beats to dance seductively. I think that is a cause we can all get behind.
Hey man, listen, one of the dope highlights of this movie, the Fela Kuti fight scene. I love the song selection there.
Fire.
Super dope, man. Lauren Hill as well, getting her to come back and her voice is sounding smooth as ever. Executive produced by Jay-Z. I think this is an homage to everything that Black people like about Western, and I do hope that in time this ages well and more people get to appreciate what I think to be one of the coolest movies that I've seen in a little bit, man. It's just fly. Listen, it's fly.
Yep, definitely. I'm rewatchable too. I'm definitely gonna run this back very soon. See if there's
on
any
a bigger
more.
TV.
Yeah, word, son. I need to upgrade my TV, okay. You know what I'm saying? Some of these movies that's coming out, I watched Dune, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I think I need
I'll tell you now, Miles, you are making way too much money to have the type of TV that you have. I'm gonna need you to stop buying bags and get yourself a TV, okay?
Hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had to spoil the people in my life real quick. Not that we're ruining any Christmas gifts out here, but what I'm saying is, great movie, yo. Definitely check it out. The Harder They Fall. All real people, right? These were real Black cowboys. Black cowboys was a thing that cannot get lost in this. This was a great story, very entertaining, fictional story, real people, right? Real history to be acknowledged in that. So I'm gonna definitely do some searches on some more of these cowboys and cowgirls and check out what's going on with that. That's actually a culture that my brother likes a lot. So maybe there's a Christmas gift in there too, man. The holidays are coming up. The All the Way Live podcast is here to remind you to love yours, take care of yours, and keep supporting Black cinema, bro. Any more recommendations? Wait, we need a rating for this joint. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. That's my shit. But what you got?
It's like me and you think the same, brother. It's like me and you think the same. It's a 4.5 out of 5 on my side too. I think that this is extremely dope. If you haven't seen it, go ahead, give it a look, and also let us know what you'd like for us to watch, listen, review.